Therapy Army. Big up to the Therapy Army. How are we doing, people? How are we doing? Welcome to United Real Therapy. Those of you who might watch this now or might watch it later, big up to you all. Welcome to a new show. We're calling it Red Rivals Talk. We're talking about two of the biggest heavyweight football clubs in the UK. Now, Rangers and Celtic might say, nah, what are you talking about? Rangers and Celtic's the biggest game. Nah, mate. The biggest game in English football or British football is Manchester United, Liverpool, two of the Northern Powerhouse. We could have called it the Northern Powerhouse as well. Historical powerhouse. But I've got my brother here, Nurabeat, so big up and welcome him. The Therapy Army, you need to show him some love. I know he's a Liverpool fan, but hey, nobody's perfect. You know what I mean? Nobody can ever be perfect. We're all fallible. We're all human beings. So big up to everybody. So Nura, welcome to the channel, brother, first of all. Big up to you.
Thank you.
I'm really excited about this show.
Yeah,
I'm really excited about this show, bro.
Yeah,
I know that we talked about it, but I'm genuinely excited, man. Big up. How was your day? What have you been up to today?
very good, man. I've been in anticipation for today. Couldn't wait. Excited, like someone schoolboy trying to start a new school. But good, yeah. Hopefully we can get into the nitty gritty of all things a rivalry between us. Bit of banter, as you said, and
well, it started already. Listen, we gotta keep it light-hearted, but that is the song, and that's the chant. That's one of the chants. Big up to everybody. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no, man. I'm just here to enjoy myself and hopefully have some good times here today.
Yeah, man. Big up. Listen, Therapy, I mean, let's go. Let's smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We've got so many talking points coming out of so many issues, so many concerns, so many worries, so much things coming out of our both football clubs. But just to give a context to people in it, Manchester to Liverpool is 35 minutes apart by car, right? If the road is clear from one city centre to other city centre, it's 35 minutes. Got relatives, families there, and I used to go to university in Liverpool, so I know Liverpool is there. Wow. It's 56 kilometers apart. That's what we are. The history of the two cities goes back hundreds of years in terms of the Industrial Revolution and everything that came with it. You know what I mean? The stolen people and all that. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Both cities got fat rich of that. You know what I mean? Go and check that bit of the history out. But in terms of football, it is the most fiercest. And I think the fierce, meaning that fierce rivalry there is in British football because of the history of success. And within that kind of ferocious rivalry, underlying all of that is a genuine respect for one another. That's the biggest. Your rivals, there is, when you have that kind of fierce, ferocious kind of rivalry, it's because there is respect. There's respect for the traditions and the histories of both football clubs. And that, to me, is the reason why. I know some of my mad fans will sing horrific songs about Hillsborough. Some Liverpool fans will sing horrific stuff about Munich. But we're not them. That's a small minority. That is an absolutely small minority. It is what it is, people. But big up to you, brother. Obviously, tonight, coming up on Liverpool show, on the Liverpool Manchester United show, we call it Red Rivals Talk, is, people, very fascinating topics. I put it on, and I'm sure Nurabeats has got his own topics that he wants to discuss about Liverpool as well. But this one I've put in here: fan base confused about Erik ten Hag's tactics. Endo signs. Is it enough for Liverpool? No structure at Liverpool FC. Liverpool FC used to have the best football structure in modern times, the best football transfer committee, and the best football structure. Where's Amrabat going? Because we're both linked with Amrabat. Is he going to Liverpool? Is he coming to us? And then obviously we got to talk about the disgraceful, absolute disgraceful shenanigans that's going on about Mason Greenwood and Manchester United. I'm sure Nura Bits, you might want to add something else to the Liverpool topics, and I'm happy for that to happen, bro. So big up to you.
Big up.
Love and light. Actually, you know what? Let's kick off with Liverpool. Let's go, because sick of talking about Manchester United all the time, bro. On here. So let's go to Liverpool. Endo, your new signing.
Yeah.
He's 30, you know. He's 30, you know. Listen, one thing about what you say, give my 2 pence. Is he Japanese, in it? Japanese football or Korean?
Yes,
Japanese footballers.
Yeah.
They've got, the man, I'm not going to say that, them man can run for days. I don't think it's a football secret that you could say stamina and energy from them man can run all day. That is not. He's somebody that I've actually liked when I watched Japan in the World Cup. He's one of the most recognizable names in the World Cup. Scholesy, get here, you little rascal. Listen, my cat is about, but we need to shut that door, so I'll let him in. Yeah. Big up, bro. But talk to the people about Endo. Who's Endo? Are you happy with Endo? Are you happy with the age and the signing?
I'm content with Endo. I'm not like, as a lot of Liverpool fans back off the Caicedo and the Lavia issues that we had over the weekend. A lot of people from Liverpool are not happy. And that's not because of the signing itself. It's because they felt a lot of euphoria with bidding for a player for 110 million. And what happened was he rejected Liverpool. Let's be honest. He rejected Liverpool. He wanted to go Chelsea. For me, basically, I think it's because that 8-9 year contract on £250,000 a week, it's hard to turn down, to be honest, especially if someone's coming from Ecuador and family, wherever he wants to secure his family for the long term, and that's what he's done. So coming off of that Caicedo deal, a lot of fans are not happy with this signing, and it's not because of the signing itself. It's because of the optics of you went for £110 million player, and now you've come back here with like a 20 million euros player that nobody has heard of in the Premier League. So that's that. But I've done my research on the guy. As you said, Nuruddin, he's very, very like a Duracell battery. Never stops running. Always covering ground. And one thing is that's underrated about him is his positional awareness and how he always tracks those, those third-party runners from midfield, and he tracks those really, really well and becomes a real pest and essentially dominates that area for Stuttgart and Japan. Whether that's enough for Liverpool, I don't think so. But we'll see. We'll see who else we get in. There's still about a week and a half left for the transfer window to close. But yeah, even during the World Cup, he did really well. All I was hearing for the Japan games was Endo. So yeah, it's been good, man.
I agree with that. No bits. You're glad Mount rejected you for us.
Yeah, you know what? There's a guy in here called Game Over TV who I know as well, who just jumped over here, and he's a Man United fan. So we've always been going back and forth. When Mount was linked to us, and I was praying that we don't get him, because I know the limitations of Mount, and if Klopp did get him, I could see him replacing Henderson or the Henderson role. But I think we evolved from that now. We needed to go somewhere a little bit higher, someone that's got a little bit more quality in the final third and that can retain the ball a little bit better than Henderson and Mount. So yeah, I knew like it was a strange decision, to be honest, for Man United to go get someone like Mount, because you've already got like a Bruno, and they were quite similar, very, very high risk takers in their final ball. So I don't know how that dynamic would work. But I don't know how we watched the game on Monday. But how did you find him on Monday? Because you was at the game.
I actually thought, in terms of energy, he was one of the best players for energy, because I think that's what we were lacking. We were lacking energy, intensity, and aggression. And I actually thought that's what he did. And we turned the ball over. We just give it away like hot potatoes. Our front three don't connect. the midfield connection between the front three wasn't there at all. That's been our problem for a long time in the last season as well. I do think I warned the fan base about the burnout from the season before. Like it happened to Liverpool. Liverpool went for 4 trophies. The burnout emotionally and physically, like it's a lot. And then the second season, he affected you. I do think that I thought Shaw, Casemiro, Rashford, a couple of the players, they weren't on it. They weren't on it in terms of to play in the Eric Ten Hag system. You have to have intensity, physicality, and aggression. Don't have that. Manchester United did not have that. And that's why they overpowered us. And in the second half, they just took over the game. But in terms of Mount, I'm gonna give him time because that's what you do. Really, you don't react of one game or 5 or 10 games. I want to see him play 30 games, and then I can make my opinion and go, right, this guy's not for it. You know what I mean? But I don't think just to scapegoat. One thing about our fan base, I don't know if the Liverpool fan base is the same. We love a saviour and we love a scapegoat. And the majority of the times, it's not that. I blame everything for the Glazers because it's the Glazers. They own the football club. They decide who they hire as CEO, the bankers that they put in charge, this Murto absolute clown, right? Yeah. All of that. I blame them individually, but I know it's far more complex than that. But because that's what, to me, they're the people who make the decisions at this football club. So it's going to be very, very interesting. How much did you sign Endo for?
If it's in pounds, I think it's about £15 million.
Wow, that's a snap. Especially when you came out and all of you said that, you know what I mean? The whole world found out that FSG got that money. Slapped 110 mil on Caicedo. I love Caicedo. Me and you have talked about it before. Like, I love Caicedo. I've got absolutely nothing but love for Caicedo. I genuinely think the kid does well. It's a lot of money. I wouldn't want Man United to pay that amount of money. I would have given them Scott McTominay and got Caicedo for 70 million. You know what I mean? 65 mil. You know what I mean? That's what I would have done. But at the end of the day, I think this CDM business, what do you think of that actually? That because for me, the hardest thing in football is putting the ball at the back of the net consistently. I still think that's what wins and loses games. But how do you think this evolution of this position has become the most riveted position and the most glamour position in world football? I find that really, really difficult.
Yeah, it is. It's the shift in responsibility for DM. Before it was just break play and just give it to your most creative player. However, now what a DM is required to do and the space he's required to cover, and getting someone that's already used to that in Caicedo and very adept at doing it, and also can cover the right back position as well. So I think what Chelsea didn't want to go above £100. The shocking thing was Liverpool just jumped in.
100 mil.
Yeah, 100 million. And Liverpool just jumped in with 110 million bid, which came out of the blue. Like, it wasn't like we was coveting him or chasing him. It just suddenly happened after Chelsea went after Lavia. So I don't know if it was like if Liverpool were just showing that they can compete with Chelsea with regards to these type of players. But yeah, DMs shouldn't usually be going for that much because the role itself is, but it's the market is screwed now because of teams like Chelsea and because of Saudi Arabia willing to pay hex amount of money for quality players. So the market has actually jumped up by maybe 20-30 million. And that's the consequence that we're seeing now. I don't know, with our owners, as you said, we were run really, really well. However, this step up in pricing has maybe, or step up in wages that's going up on an annual basis has probably caught them off. And I don't think they want to pay as much as the top teams are paying now. And it's catching up with Liverpool because we're missing out on a lot of players due to that fact itself.
So talk to me. What happened with the football structure? I remember about last season, 4 or 5 people have left. Like the director of football left, your guy, analytics guys left, your head of recruitment's left. Like your transfer committee, Liverpool were the best transfer committee. Yeah. They were just, honestly, Liverpool fans were like, back in the day, they were moving a bit like, what's that famous record label from Detroit from back in the day?
Was it
Like
Motown?
Motown. They were moving like Motown with hit after hit.
Yeah.
So you weren't missing. You were moving like Motown.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
Supremes and all that. You mans were moving like honestly, like Motown. You were hitting. And the other thing about it, what I love, that I used to call Liverpool the sniper transfer. Like you were like sniper in the transfer. You hear 2 days, Liverpool might be linked with this player. Bam! 2 days later, you got the player there. He's at Anfield signing on a dot.
Yeah.
Boom, done.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're moving like Manchester United. I must say, I recognize this. Nura, I've been there, bro. Nura, I've been there. I've been there. I've seen this. I got the T-shirt. I've had the popcorn for a decade. Before that, and it was Fergie that was telling me, oh, there's no value in the market. And then just Liverpool have gone from that to this. Obviously, it's a power struggle.
Yeah.
Explain it to the people.
So, yeah, before, like about 18 months ago, we had the structure where we had the analytical team, and the head of that was the sporting director, who was Michael Edwards. And Michael Edwards, obviously, he's been at the club way before Klopp as well. So maybe like 5 years before Klopp came. Altogether, I think he's been there about 10, 12 years. And so he decided to leave last summer. Last summer, he decided to leave, and then his number 2 took over, which was Julian Ward. And then when Liverpool announced, this is where I think it all crumbled, is when Liverpool announced that they were looking to sell the club. Literally about a week or two later, then, or maybe a week or two before, Julian Ward then handed his resignation in and said he'll stay until the end of the season. And I think Liverpool have not recovered from that, and I don't know what's the internal issues exactly that's going on, if FSG really want to sell or not, because this is probably brought in a lot of instability, and a lot of people are probably thinking within the club about their future, because they don't know who's going to own the club, or if Liverpool are really going to sell. FSG got called in their guy Michael Gordon, who was also the CEO at the club, and called him back to America. So a lot of things has changed internally, and I think Liverpool are just in a space now where there isn't a clear direction anymore because of these what is it, the owner saying they want to sell, or they're looking for investment. So it's best for like a massive institution like Liverpool or Man United for clarity to be there early. And when clarity is there, for example, you guys as well, it's the same thing where you're saying that the Glazers are saying that they want to sell. However, nothing's really happened. So that brings a lot of doubt amongst people, even the people that you're trying to do business with. You'll start to have issues. Where is your direction? Where do you really want to be? Are you really going to be here in a year's time? Should I deal with you right now? Should I cultivate those relationships? Because those relationships could be gone in a year or two. So this is what's happening at Liverpool, and Liverpool are probably paying for that.
I've also heard another thing that I've heard, that actually it was the transfer committee's frustrations with Klopp wanted to keep the season before, wanted to keep Milner and Henderson. Apparently they wanted to move them on and bring in new players, and he was putting his foot down. And it looked like some people who are Liverpool fans are telling me this, like, because I'm not a Liverpool fan. You know that, people. I'm not a Liverpool fan. You know, just a reminder to remind you all that they're telling me. And I trust like other fans. I don't trust media pundits and all of that stuff. I trust other fans because they actually dedicate certain time. I heard that Liverpool, the power struggle became. I can 100% imagine what you're saying when FSG, because I remember I did a show on this channel. FSG was like, right, it's time for the Glazers to go as well. Little did I know, because I always talked about that the Glazers, what they're doing to Manchester United was all gonna come to a head. It was all gonna happen. So at the end of the day, I was like, oh damn, Liverpool are gonna be the first one to sell, because the model of Liverpool of selling players and then selling high and buying players on the cheap, that is unsustainable unless you're producing that talent and like harboring that talent. And if you could to compete, then you can't be really selling your your top talent to compete with Man City. And I genuinely do think you guys have been a very done amazing thing to try to stay with Liverpool, and that's because you've had a team, right? You little rascal, you can't sit there. You can't sit in front of the screen. You can just chill here. You just chill here, okay? Chill here, okay? Relax there. Stop climbing on the laptop.
That one's Scholesy, yeah?
Scholesy. Yeah, that's Scholesy, yeah. Scholesy the rascal. Scholesy is an absolute rascal.
Ginger,
but yeah, he's a ginger. That's why we go call him Scholesy. Scholesy! Yeah. So it basically kind of like that was a sustainable model, and then you need new investment to be able to compete because you've done that. You've literally, if it wasn't for Liverpool in the past couple of years, City would have run away with it every season. That's how mad it was, other than Arsenal that season. And you know what happened to Arsenal? They tried, and at the end they just limped. You know what I mean? They limped to that, and City just did what they needed to do. So the model, everything was working, but that was unsustainable in terms of like selling, like you sold Suarez, you built Coutinho, sold these players, and then that's why you got Van Dijk, that's why you got Alisson, that's why you bought in the likes of Salah, you know, these type of players. And obviously that cycle of that team was coming to an end. So what I heard on the ground is that Liverpool would also try to move Henderson, Milner, and he won't have it. You know, Klopp wasn't having it, and at the end, it became the power struggle, and the FSG were like, "We're backing Klopp. These guys need to go."
Yeah. So that's one theory that a lot of people are coming out with. Another theory is that the ownership itself has lost direction. So when Edwards and those under him sought clarity and say, listen, so and so and so players are coming to a head. What is the budget? What is the future budget for the next 5 years going forward? And I don't think they've given a clear answer to that. And so I've heard that Edwards himself didn't want to work under that, like in a situation of ambiguity where almost you can't predict, especially in his role where he likes to plan 3-4 years in advance. And he couldn't do that anymore because he had no clarity over the club. And so they were silent on that. Are you selling the club or not? Or are you looking for investment? And to this day, Liverpool are in limbo, and that question still hasn't been answered. They just become radio silent all of a sudden 100%. On the whole topic.
Well, they said they're not selling the club. They came out and said that, didn't they? They said the club's not for sale anymore.
He said, are we going to be here forever? No. Are we looking for investment? Yes. So what is that? Like he made it ambiguous again, where are you selling the club or not? Or are you here for the long term? Because people want to know if you're here for the long term, what's the plan? And if not, then what are you trying to sell to? Or is your investment that you're looking for a 40-60? Is it a 50-50? What is it? Like, and this is some of the questions that they haven't been able to answer as of yet.
Yeah. Oh, we know that. We know that about really well. Not answering questions. Not speak. They don't even talk to other fans. At least some of your guys talk to some of your fan groups. They don't even communicate. The Glazers gave the fan base half an hour in 19 years, Lenny. They gave them half an hour on a Zoom call. Wow. And that's after the Super League, massive. Like we stopped the biggest game in Britain. That was it. That's what they did. That's the level of communication that we've had. But yeah, that's Liverpool's football structure. Big up my brother Caleb, if that's him. Big up Caleb. Structure, keep speaking. Facts never change. Glazers out now. Yo, it is where it is, bro. You know me. Like, this channel, we held accountable. Trust me, I'll be moved and somebody else will be installed. If I start hitting some of the toxic positivity, positivity crew. But let's move on to the Manchester United. So Endo, you're happy with Endo. Do you think Amrabat, you rate Amrabat, and would you like Amrabat at Liverpool?
Yeah, it's another similar player to Endo. Very high energy, very good at positional play, understands the game really well, and understands where the threats are coming from. It's not like a typical DM where just wins the ball, but he wins the ball and then he can recycle it well. So
he's also got amazing ball playing ability in it. He's good at short and long passes in it. I think in Serie A he's got the some of the longest. Like he's got some of the best passing into the last.
Exactly. We saw like the first time me seeing him was during the World Cup, and you couldn't help but fall in love with the passion that he played with, and the skill, and when he chased down Mbappe in the game against France, and managed to catch him. Everyone was surprised at that. Number one, number two, that he managed to win the ball and then and walk off straight and pass it and start a counter attack again. So Amrabat, if he comes to us or you, is a very good player that would actually improve both teams a level up to what we have at the moment. But yeah,
if we don't get another midfielder that is kind of defensive, and I don't know enough about Gravenberch to have watched him. I've not really watched him properly, and I don't know what he is. Some people have told me he's more tech-heavy. He's not a super defensive kind of player. Manchester United need a super defensive type of player, and we need it ASAP. Because I'm telling you now, Casemiro was aging. Every 10 minutes, he was putting on another decade and a half on that football pitch the other night. I know that's how it looked like because looked like it's his fault. But he's not quick. If you turn Casemiro, he's hard to recover. He's good at getting into positions to be able to read the game. But when he's left on his own in midfield, then you're going to suffer. So
that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about. Because a lot of the time, I don't know, you was watching it live, but when I was watching it from home, I was seeing when United had the ball, I was seeing Casemiro pick up really high positions, like maybe alongside the striker sometimes. And I was thinking, why is he there? Like if now if especially because they got the speed, if walls break on you now, what then? And so I don't know.
And that's what happened. That's why we conceded 23 chances.
Yeah.
Similar like 2005 when the Glazers took over, you see? Oh my God. 23. They had so many shots on goal. And if they could score a goal, that game would have been done, especially on the second half performance. I think we controlled aspects of the game in the first half, but it was a bit of a snooze fest. We were not creating. Our front 5 or 6 were just like statues. They were quite statuesque in the way they were moving. So it was a very, very interesting. Big up to everybody. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you really like hearing from this brother, and if you're a Liverpool fan and you're just a general football fan and you want to understand analytical aspects of the game, go and check out Nura Beats Football Analysis on YouTube. The link is down below, and you can also follow him in the socials. All of it is down below, people. So give the brother a follow. Make sure you check his channel out. And this is going to be hopefully a reoccurring thing where obviously we're going to banter. Banter is going to come, trust me, especially the games, like the big games. We might also have, you might pick a guest, I might pick a United guest, and Nurabits might pick a Liverpool guest, and there might be 4 of us getting at it, or it could be even more, you know what I mean? We might be like 3 against 3, you know what I mean? And bring it all out, you know what I mean? And see, and get into this debates about Liverpool, Manchester United and Liverpool. So big up to you. So going back to in terms of what the topics are, that's what you got. You got Endo and the Liverpool structure and Liverpool need, and that's what I'm saying. That you've got one of Klopp's mates who are doing bits for you now, like the guy from Wolfsburg, and that just seems super surreal. I think Liverpool owners have to come into terms about what's happening. They either need to get investment or they have to sell the football club. I genuinely think Liverpool fans are not going to be as patient. And when it comes to FSG, are you FSG out, FSG in? Everything shake it all about?
To be honest, I said I tweeted this out when at the height of the Caicedo and Lavia stuff, and when Chelsea came in for Lavia, I said if Liverpool lose out to Lavia, I'll be FSG out because that's crazy if they allow that to happen. But what happened? It happened. Like I'm more for clarity. As soon as we find clarity, FSG needs to tell us what their plan is ASAP. If they don't want to tell us that, then I'm 100% FSG out. And that's all we ask for is a clarity of where do you want to take Liverpool in the next 5 years. If you don't show that clarity, that means you don't really care about the football club and its future. And if you don't care about its future, that means you're not really good custodians.
100%, brother. 100%. Big up, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, people. Check out the pin to it. Like, share, subscribe. That's where we are. Therapy and me. We're on the road to 10K. We're we're 500 away from 8K. So let's go, people. Let's go. Here, you get it raw, real, and it's red. Honestly, you get it. It's raw, real, it's red. None of this sugarcoating, no toxic positivity. If you want that type of like analysis and that type of positive for just being positive sake, you've tuned into the wrong channel. This ain't the channel for you. There's about a million other United YouTube channels that give you all of that sugarcoat stuff for you. Here we get to the heart of the matter, and that's how it is, people. I can't try to change and be something that I'm not.
Facts.
This community is not that. It's not that. In terms of Manchester United, obviously, we're going to talk about the fan base confused by Erik ten Hag's tactics, and obviously Erik ten Hag's signings as well. Like, not just the tactics. You know, Mount is getting questioned. I thought Onana performed really well. I don't know what you saw of the game, but I was quite impressed because I don't really rate Onana. I wanted Costa, but putting my preference aside, I thought, wow. You know what? Having like nearly 12 years a goalkeeper that just sticks between on his own line, who's the biggest shitbag, was so refreshing to see a guy that's actually coming to wipe people out. And actually, I don't mind that if he gives away penalty now and again, wiping people out, because I know that strikers and attackers will be thinking, "Damn, I don't want to get wiped out here." You know what I mean? So that fear will be. But obviously, straight away, I thought that was a dead-on penalty. From where I was sitting, I was like, "That's a penalty." And then there was like, VR check, and everybody held their breath. And then he walked over, but we didn't know. He then yellow carded Gary O'Neill.
Yeah.
But obviously, as a Liverpool fan, you're like, damn it! Where's that penalty? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was watching it with two other mates of mine who are United fans. And so we were just straight away, when I saw that happen, I'm the only one that said penalty. And them two are making excuses like, no, that can't be a penalty. But then, you know, when the game was over, they both admitted, they were like, yeah, that was a stonewall, you know, because had it happened the other way around, you know, like that was at Man United's ground, and it would have been, oh, hell would have broken loose if that penalty wasn't given. And the guy was nowhere near the ball. That's the thing. If he challenged for the ball, I can understand, because a lot of people, I was watching your stream afterwards, and someone said, it's a coming together. A coming together is when two players go for the same ball at the same time. That's a coming together. However, this guy's headed the ball, or the guy behind him headed the ball. He had nothing to do with it, and he gets clattered.
He gets absolutely wiped. It was a wipe out. It was a wipe out. You know. Big up, Kleb. We preview Saturday game tomorrow on this on TS. Yeah. United Real on TS. We previewed Saturday game tomorrow on TS. Let us know on the TS, bro. I'm dyslexic, so TS, what channel is that? Let us know. But big up to you for the super chat. Always love, Kleb. Now we're gonna do that tomorrow night. We're doing it tomorrow night. The preview. Hopefully, then we'll have the second part, the embargo section of Ten Hag's presser. Yeah. So we'll get to see that. There's gonna be a lot of questions asked. But in terms of like, I know like Erik ten Hag is well known for high risk, high reward football. The biggest thing that I don't mind that Fergie was the biggest gambler. Throw the baby, the bathwater, the kitchen sink, everything, the bath, throw it all of it. That's what Fergie was. That's why when City beat us at Old Trafford in a derby, we were 10 men down and we were 3-1 down, I think, and it was like 10 minutes to go plus extra time. And he was like, let's go for it with the Old Trafford crowd. And we got beat, and people forget that 3 goals of those 3 goals came from like in injury time. They all came in injury time just after 90 minutes. So he's that type of player. Now we don't mind that. We were hated like Jose Mourinho and this Ollie cautious football. We were not here for that. So I understand. But what I want when we're doing that high risk, high reward, I want the reward, and there's no reward at the moment. There's just no connecting. Yeah, everybody looks confused. FC. I do think that. It could be that sometimes when you overload in preseason, it's happened before. When you overload, there's a level of fatigueness that comes into players. And I know that sounds rather ridiculous, but how can you overload? No, you can't overload players. And in the first couple of games, they can look like, what the hell is going on? Have zero energy. And it's going to be so many different factors other than just one factor to say what happened the other day. You know, what happened? What was his tactics? We play this obviously 3-1, like 3-1-6. That's what we play. That's the formation. But we don't return the ball enough, quality enough. We don't return it inconsistently in the last third. And I know it's difficult, especially where they literally gave us a the width. They were like, okay, we're just going to block central lines, the center. You can go out wide. And like, I thought Garnacho obviously was one of his, like, that's probably one of his worst games for Manchester United, Garnacho, because that fullback had him on toast, like absolutely worked him out, like must have studied him. And now it's the challenges to Garnacho's. Can you now, Garnacho, go and put add other strings to your bow? Because that's the thing about the Premier League, like, because it's top high level football. You get found out if you become predictable and you're not on what you're doing. If you become super predictable and you're not super successful at it, success rate in terms of the success that you have or what you're doing, you're gonna get worked out, and then that's what happens. And that's a challenge to young players because you're fresh. Nobody really knows your game. Nobody's watching Manchester United youth team. You come to the Premier League and people are like, okay, we don't know which way he goes. And then they analyze and look at all those games and think, right, this is what he does. That's what he does. And then they work that out. So now, Garnacho, the challenge is, can you add a couple of more strings to your bow? Can you do that?
Exactly. You spot on, Nordin. Spot on. It's like, especially the young players, they may have success in a certain style of play. However, if they don't do their own homework and start to vary their own game, especially do their own homework on the opposition. And nowadays, there's no excuse, especially with, like, you know, how professional clubs have become, where you study the tapes of the future teams that you're about to play, and you have to take it seriously. I was watching a documentary on Netflix. Shout out Netflix. Sponsor the show.
Yo, Netflix, you know where we are. Come with it.
So yeah, I was watching a show about, like, you know, American football, and there was this, like, what they call the it's not the linebacker. What's the guy that dictates everything?
Oh, it's the quarterback.
Quarterback, yeah, the quarterback. The guy was, like, you know, studying the film of his previous game and the game of the next opponents, and then he would write, all right, if they block this, I'm gonna do this, and he was basically just rehearsing it in his own head, envisioning it. And if he doesn't do, and I know Garnacho has had issues before with regards to discipline and being, like, you know, in that right frame of mind, where Ten Hag told him off, and even Bruno came out once and told him off about having the right attitude. And so if players think that they've made it before they've made it, is an issue, and it's good that it happens to him early, that he can learn from it. But I thought I think United had a game plan for Wolves, and Wolves just turned it on its head, because a lot of their midfielders I saw were in, like, I don't know if it was an instruction or they did it off the cuff, but a lot of them, what they did was turn with the ball and just drive into the space. They knew that any of your midfielders weren't catching them.
Exactly. And because Casemiro's slow. Soon as you get out of that first press of Manchester United, we don't have anybody off the leg. And actually, we were laughing to ourselves in comments, like, where's Fred? Like, where's Fred?
Yeah, you know what?
Think about Fred. You know what I mean? Fred's energy. Where's Fred's energy?
Exactly. Fred would have been really good for that game, actually, because he matches that energy, and he becomes a pest almost.
Of course.
And stops teams from playing that type of play. But yeah, Garnacho, I think. Talk to me about Anthony. Anthony's been getting a lot of slack from, I know, rivals. I don't know, you was at the game. I didn't really watch him too tough in that game.
I thought first half he was good. But we need more. We need more from him. What I like about him is that he's got that energy and aggression. Like, he does have energy and aggression. And sometimes he does have that, like, where he puts it on the line, like in terms of how he plays. But we need more from him. He doesn't connect. The chemistry's not there, and the patterns of play that they might work on training are not coming off. And that's the most worrying thing. And we're not sustaining it. Like, if they were missing loads of chances, I could have said that. But he put Rashford through a couple of times. I mean, you know what? At times, the game plan was working because we won loads of high balls. Like, you know, what Liverpool used to do.
Yeah.
We let the press be the number 10. the most creative. We won the ball, but the so first and the second pass after we won the ball were absolutely disgraceful. Like absolutely frustrating when you're in the stadium. It's shocking to see that. I think we need to get used to it. I genuinely don't believe that he's backed. I genuinely don't think if Manchester United had the money to go and back anywhere near what Chelsea have done in the past, buying those kind of quality players. To me, the most strangest one, and he's gonna, managers live and die by their signings, is Mason Mount signing. Hopefully he comes good. I hope he proves me wrong. Same with Onana. And Onana on the first game, he's definitely proven me wrong. I wouldn't even mind it if he gives the penalty away, like I said, because strikers and forwards are going to think about, I better not go in 50-50 with him, or I better not even, if I see him coming, I better get out of the way. I think that's psychologically, because they're only human that plays on it. But I think we needed 5 players practically to get into the first team. Ralph Rangnick said one of the most truth tellers of managers we've had in recent years has been Ralph Rangnick. And he said Manchester United need 10 players to play the modern way of footballers. And I'm sorry, but he's right. So still, we're banking on a 20-year-old to do good. You know what? He's got amazing potential of all the different things. Actually, and one of the things is that he's not good at headering, and hopefully he learns in 20. You know what I mean? 20-year-old. I'll never forget Andy Cole. Andy Cole was a tapping merchant at Newcastle. Those of you who don't know the history. He's a tapping merchant. He came to Manchester United. He absolutely vastly had to improve as a player. He had to run down the channels. He had to hold up the ball. He had one of the best spins. If you got too tight to Andy Cole, he will spin the hell out of you. Spin the hell out of you. Yeah, we're going to come to those questions. Big up Jarvis. Big up everybody in the chat, by the way. Love and light. Big up Mateus. He said, bring Ollie back. People are asking for Ollie out here, man. Listen, Erik ten Hag is under pressure this season. Let's not make let's not mince the words here, people. He's under a lot of pressure because everybody gave him grace for the first season. He took a lot of gamble by playing too many players, like so many little players, so many like 13 players or 12 players to death in all 4 competitions. And he caught up with us. After February, we were dead. Energy-wise, we were dead. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping that this is not really continuing to this season like it did with Liverpool, with your guys. But for me, we have to be patient. I think we can't just lose our heads after one game, after the first 4 games. I remember Manchester United under Ferguson, and he was a winner in terms of he had the Premier League on lock. Sometimes Manchester United started really mundane, didn't have good starts, drew games here and there, and that's what would happen. So we have to be patient. Obviously, we don't have that knowledge to think, he's going to get it right, he's going to pull it out of the hat. But I think we needed to back Erik ten Hag properly. City go and do a treble, and we've got Mount, a 20-year-old, and a keeper. No, we needed Kim Min-jae. I think we could have gone out, maybe got Harry Kane. Harry Kane and Højlund, definitely. You know what I mean? Someone like Caicedo, definitely. Those would have took Manchester United to that level to be competing, but we haven't done it. And like I said, he wanted Mount. Mount is on Ten Hag. He wanted that player, and he made it the priority signing, where we need to do something to replace Casemiro. Yes, you can say Kobe Manu, but come on, guys. He's an amazingly talented kid, and I genuinely don't talk about him because I always feel like I'm superstitious, and I'm always like, I was banged on about Greenwood, and look what's happening now. So I didn't want to put that on him, and I didn't want to give him a bad look. But yeah, he's a young kid. Yeah, he looked good in preseason. That's in preseason game. When the Premier League comes and you got people like Nunes and Gomez, I was so impressed, Nura, with Gomez. I was like, wow, this guy physically bullied Manchester United, and Cunha bullied us as well. But it was easy because they were just coming deep, dropping in deep, getting the ball and running at us directly. And that's what Spurs are going to do. Spurs have got players like that. Exactly. They got Maddison. They're going to have players who can do that. The Zuma, obviously, back in favour now. So it's going to be very interesting. And we're going to preview that game tomorrow night, people. So make sure you're live. You're locked in tomorrow night for the preview. Spurs versus Manchester United, one of the big fixtures in English football. I'll never forget when we went there, we were 3-0 down, and the rest was history, people. The rest was history. The rest was history.
That's when I was putting my hair up.
Yeah, man. K.O. Dan says, just curious, Manchester United welcome back Eric Cantona when he did a karate kick on a fan during the game. Why is it so hard to bring back Greenwood? Listen, Kadeem, big up. Thank you, brother, for the super chat. It's all about personal opinion, and it's all about what you feel, but I'm going to keep the super chat, and I'm going to come back to it when we start talking about the Mason Greenwood. So big up to you, love and light. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. What do you know about Erik ten Hag? Do you rate Erik ten Hag? Put the banter and the rivalry aside. Would you ever, if club ever left, would he be the type of manager that you might have thought would take him at Liverpool?
Coming from Ajax, his style of play was very, very attractive. So when he came to United last season, and this is my own theory, it's like he wanted De Jong, he wanted to like essentially replicate exactly the style that he had at Ajax. However, I don't know if the first two games in the Premier League, Brighton and Brentford.
Reality check. You got reality check. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe because you've got McLaren in the background stuff, yeah? And I don't know if doubt seeped into him, like, and McLaren actually increased that doubt by saying, I don't think you can play like this in the Premier League. You need like physicality, you need guys that can run. You can, and then he started to go for like a Casemiro and then and a Mason Mount. And I don't know if he's changed his philosophy a little bit to try and adapt to the Premier League and maybe a little bit too early. I would have liked to see him persist in his style a little bit longer, see if he can, cultivate what he really wants before going down that route. And I know Klopp as well. Klopp did something similar as well, where he had to change his style of, heavy metal football, constantly going at a team to calming it down because the Premier League is a different beast and
because of the literally the monster that is the Premier League, like
exactly.
the physical constraints that are put on the footballers. So the idea that you could play the heavy metal football, your players were going to be dead, mate. Your players were going to burn out FC, mate. You cannot. That's unsustainable. You can be sustained on a cycle, like 4 to 5 years. And we already know what some of your boys on the podcast said about the juicing and all that. You know what I mean? If you know, you know. Liverpool on the juice, mate. Like 65% of Liverpool players have all got asthma. You know what I mean? Asthmatic FC. That's what you are, man.
Yeah. So I think because in England there's not a winter break. That it's actually, and especially during the Christmas period, it's mad.
Relentless.
So I think that probably scared them a little bit and thought, all right, I probably need to play a little bit more physical, more, and get more players in that can do that physical work rather than the technical side of it. And the midfield, especially right now, for me, I rate Ten Hag as a coach, as a manager. However, what I'm seeing right now, and if he ends up with the same midfield going throughout the whole season now, Mason Mount, Bruno, Casemiro, I don't think United will have a successful season. They need another body that can sometimes rotate with Casemiro or even play with him, depending on the team. If it's a strong team like one of the top 6 teams in the Premier League.
Yeah, away to Arsenal, away to Liverpool, away to City, away to Newcastle, away to Chelsea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even the Spurs, we're going to see with Spurs what happens. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Do you remember also, this was one thing a lot of people think about Ferguson? He would always adapt in the away games against a big team. And he will usually bring
Phil Neville, Joan O'Shea, Darren Fletcher.
Yeah.
These guys were getting in Nicky Bot to chop people's legs.
Yeah, exactly.
These people were coming in and boosting that midfield. I think it was Fergie that actually experimented with the 3 in midfield a lot, where people used to play 2 at times, And it used to be a physical game, physicality. Manchester United need to always were ready. No, definitely. Listen, I liked him because of the football, and I thought we're not going to win any big trophies with the Glazers, so I just wanted football, and I was like, in 6 months we should see better football. Little did I know he was like, I'm going to win at whatever cost. I need to win a trophy and get to top 4, and I'm going to play these 12, 13 players to death. That's not what I agreed to. That's not a contract I signed with Erik ten Hag. But then who am I? I'm just a guy who lives in Hume, people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Who the hell am I? So at the end of the day, I expect the football to get better. And I think what people need to think about is when Pep Guardiola came, he never compromised on his football. That season when he came, they literally finished 4th on goal difference. It was when Ten Hag got sacked and we got Jose Mourinho. It was disgraceful the way Ten Hag got sacked at Wembley after picking up the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
After picking up the
Right
FA
on.
Cup, which for me is the only trophy that I genuinely recognize in the last 10 years. I genuinely do that. It's the only trophy that I genuinely rate.
Yeah.
It's the FA Cup. And yeah, the guy who picked that up for us was sacked in the press conference at Wembley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Journalists were telling him, "Hey mate, you're a gunner. You know what I mean? You're done out here. Jose's coming in." So for me, that season, you see little City's form. He was getting his ass handed to him, man. You know what I mean? I'm sure they got whacked one game 5 or something. I don't know who was it Everton? One team whacked Man City, and that was happening. And they just literally go and look it up, people. They finished top 4 on goal difference. But then, like a football club, City is, they backed him to the hill, bought him his players, and then some players that he bought, he were like, right, this guy doesn't fit in, get me another one. That's what it was, literally. These 2 don't fit in, get me another guys. That's like, but we're not that football club. Only Man City in this country can do that. We'll see.
Chelsea now.
You know, Chelsea are doing it. Chelsea have always been doing it. Chelsea are just still on the high octane, mate. You know what I mean? I still think in my head, I'm like, is Ibrahimovic back in this? It's Todd Bowley. It's Todd Bowley. I mean, you never know, bro. You can never know. Is Ibrahimovic still on this? Is his club? But Todd Bowley and that these men are pretending it's them. You know what I mean? Because this is madness what they're doing. And if you ever wanted to know, the excuse that Manchester United and their cronies in the media keep using is FFP. You know what? Chelsea have literally got FFP and went. That's what they've done to FFP. They've literally made an absolute mockery out of FFP. So when all of these cronies, like these absolute, they might as well work for Neil Ashton. Neil Ashton and his boys in the media, when they're coming out telling you, Manchester United can't really do anything, they've got to be careful of financial fair play. And then they bought out the club then, literally, breaking news. Manchester United broke financial fair play. It was the administration error. Administration error. That's the club telling it on itself to go, the fan base, hey, we can't sign anybody because FFP. It shows you Chelsea have just smashed that. It's not worth the paper it's written on. So, you know what? Sky Germesh, that brother there, shut the hell up. All you clowns, shut the hell up. And Flex, man, bro, I love you to bits, but I was quite disappointed with you parroting the same talking points on Sky. I don't know, maybe Sky have got something with Manchester United where they're parroting, but you can't be parroting about financial fair play because Chelsea are making a mock of it. And other clubs are making a mock of financial fair play. Let's be right here.
Yeah.
If you have got no massive income, then yeah, I understand like the Evertons, like Middlesbrough, somebody's getting done now. I don't know what club is getting done. What club has got done? I think, who is it? Oh, Reading. Reading are getting done, like for some, you know what I mean? Something, you know, financially. So they're getting boys points deducted. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really genuinely sorry. Like, I'm not buying this FFP BS. We're run on the Glazonomics. Come out and say it with your fucking chest. Say it with chest. We're run on the Glazonomics. We're run in accordance to the New York Stock Exchange, and we're not run like a football club, like other football clubs. Say that. That'll make more sense to me, because then you're telling the truth. But we're telling me about financial fair play. It's just like, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm not having you parrot this BS.
Especially how they explain the whole FFP, how it works. The money, like the player that you sign, go like the way it looks on the books or on the accounting side of it is, if you buy a player, you split his payments that you're supposed to pay for him over the length of his contract.
Yeah, length of his contract. Yeah, that's what.
However, when you sell a player, it goes directly into that account, which doesn't make sense. In my case, if something goes out and in, you're supposed to book it in as out and in. Similarly, but the way they get away around it is like, and they've told on themselves now because the way Chelsea is doing it and giving like 8-9 year contracts, and they split it that way. So they always underneath, especially when they sold all those players to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
But they were saying they still made a profit. Like it's a fake profit. It's not a real profit.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's just like, you know, the accountancy tricks. You know how
That's
accountants
how it
work.
is. Manchester United were taken over by an absolute accountancy trickers. So you're telling me they can't do accountancy trick to go over FFP? FFP is like you get a slap on the wrist, bro.
Yeah.
No massive significant comes from it. Even though this year they're saying Champions League, the UEFA FFP will have some, you know what I mean, have some teeth. It will have some teeth, and it would mean that clubs who break that can. But the Premier League, you just get a little slap here and there. But you get told Manchester United can't sign players now until we sell. No, I'm sorry. That's why you got, for me, I'm going to call it now. Chelsea might have had a horrendous season. I was super impressed with that Lewis Hall. He's got that, what's your left back called? He's got that about him.
Yeah,
he's got that Robertson thing about him. Honestly,
they're selling him to Newcastle.
And now they're selling him, and they want to sell Chalobah because that's seen as a profit. Because they're pure
profit.
Players,
yeah, exactly.
So at the end of the day, and that aids their financial fair play as well. So let's go then. So we got rid of Elanga, get rid of Scott McTominay then. You know what I mean? Get rid of that. This is what you need to do. But no, we can't sell to save our lives, bro. We can't, because we sign players on the Glazonomics way, and Glazonomics is that we sign the player for what the contract is worth. So, and we're putting them in these wages, and it's an asset, and that's how it looks on the stock exchange. This is an asset. That's how it looks. That's why we give these wages.
Okay, so it looks like if he's it's
a valuable asset
on his high wages, it bolsters the
of course it does
the worth of the club. Is that what it is?
That's what it does, bro. Like it does that. It does that because these like stock exchange analysts don't know what the quality of Harry Maguire. They just think Harry Maguire 80 million, put on that amount of money. They look at Jadon Sancho, banging in it. You know, they might see a little bit of a footballer. Oh, he's banging it in Germany. We're buying him for that much. He's on that wages. That's how they see it. It's an asset. And somebody, especially Sancho, it's a sellable, innit? It's a sellable asset. So that's how it works. But then they don't want to do that. What they want to do is glaze up. So when you were speaking on Skyflex, please talk about it. It's Glazer fucking nomics, bro. It's Glazonomics, bro. It ain't no FFP BS because Chelsea have just made a mock of it. But yeah, it is. It is. Listen, talk to me about anything else you want to talk with Liverpool, the midfield. What else do Liverpool need? What else do they need? And where do you think you're finishing this season?
Right now, top 4, 5. I see Liverpool at. If they get like a really quality DM, and there's no significant injuries to the key players, then
you don't think you need a centre half cover? We
do. We need one on the left side, a left-sided centre back. I don't know if they'll do it though. That's the thing. We've been linked with a DM from Brazil called Andre that's coming. There's probably everyone's saying it will be coming in January because he's still gonna be playing like important cup competitions for his team in Brazil. So Liverpool are finding it hard to bring him in the summer, but apparently it's to get it done for January. And if we get a good quality DM and we can stay quite fit, I'm quite optimistic. The only issue is that we've got a thin squad right now. If the injuries do start piling up, then we might be in trouble finishing 5th or below that, depending on what Tottenham can do and Chelsea can do and Brighton maybe.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I genuinely think that bit there underneath the top 6, 7 is going to be very interesting now. Yeah. Like you got City, Arsenal, United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle,
Spurs.
7 now. It's a 7. Yeah. And anything underneath that, it's obviously they're rebuilding. They've got a new manager. They're going to give him time, I hope. You know, I can't even say his name, man.
Yeah, I can't.
Say his name. I can never say his name. The Greek fella.
Yeah.
The former Celtic manager. I'm going to have to try to learn his name. But yeah, for me, in Manchester United, where we finished, because we finished 3rd last season, so I think Erik ten Hag has got to do it again. He's got to get us Man United finishing in that top 4. I thought last season, I thought we were going to finish 7th. I genuinely thought we were going to finish. I didn't have any faith in the players last season. Yeah. And some of them, I still don't have faith in a lot of the players. I don't. Were you happy with everybody going? Henderson, was it time to go? Was it Fabinho, time to go? Would you like to have kept Fabinho? Would you have liked to have kept Henderson?
Yeah,
for leadership?
personally, I would have kept Fabinho. Henderson was going regardless. I think he had a talk with Klopp just when the interest was shown from Saudi Arabia. Say, what's my role? And Klopp told him, you'll be backup to some of the guys that's been brought in. And so he made his decision like that. So I was happy with that. However, I'm not happy with the amount of. I think we got rid of like six midfielders and only brought in 2. So I'm not happy about that. And
You
again,
still got that young kid. Is he injured? That young kid, that Croatian kid.
oh yeah, Bajcetic. He had like a stress injury, but Liverpool don't want to rush him
fracture,
back.
some sort of fracture.
Sort of fracture, yeah. So they don't want to rush him back quickly.
Similar to Højlund, isn't it? Højlund, that's what Højlund got. Like,
exactly. So
in pre-season.
when you're young,
that happens with young players, by the way.
Exactly.
That's very frequent with young players.
Exactly, because they're still growing.
The body's changing. Yeah, the body's changing.
They're still growing and they're still trying to adapt to the. Like I remember listening to Van Dijk saying, he stopped having injuries around 22, 23 because he was still growing. Even at that late stage. So we'll see, man. I'm just hoping that we have like a better season than last season, and we can maybe.
I mean, last season it was your 7-0, man. That was your trophy, wasn't it? That was the only trophy that you won last season, wasn't it? Was 7.
We saw that where we were finishing, and to get that 7-0, and it's so memorable to me because I was watching the game with my 6-year-old son, right? And this is the first time he's watched a full game from minute 1 till minute 90. And he enjoyed himself so much. He was celebrating, especially the second half, celebrating every minute.
Every 10 minutes, there was another goal. Well, did you explain to him, son, that's not how football is. This is just Manchester United. Just like literally giving up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Wow, what a game, mate. If you're a Liverpool fan as a kid, wow, that game sold him. Did you explain to him the rivalry?
Yeah.
I tried to explain that.
From when he was about 3, when he could talk, he always believed like he was born in Liverpool. He would tell everyone, I'm born in Liverpool.
There you go. That's how much indoctrination.
Call
child services people reporting.
One of my friends, he's a Liverpool fan, and one of his sons became a Chelsea fan, and I was like, what? How can you have that in your own household, man? I said, you're not like, I would treat him so differently to the others. I'll give them all sweets. I'm like, go to Chelsea and get your sweets, man.
Let Frankie and the boys sort you out, man. Yeah. Now listen, kids rebelling it. You never know. He's 6 now. When he comes to 10, he might pick a different team.
I'm seeing a bit of Man City in him. He's always saying,
De Bruyne, Highland.
Exactly.
You got to tell him they're the new enemy, man. Yeah. I remember Liverpool and City fans used to love each other. Now they hate each other, eh?
Yeah.
Fascinating. But yeah, let's get into the Greenwood thing. Obviously, the club made an absolute clownish statement. They first came out and they said that they were going to make a decision about Mason Greenwood's future before the season. Then they backed down. Then they started briefing the journalists here and there. Then they said, oh, we're going to have to consult with a woman and put it in the women's team. I like throwing the women's team under the bus. Just the most surreal thing ever. And then they start treating it like some clickbait thing, like honestly, like it's a transfer. And then what did they do? They then go on and come out with another thing. And then the Athletic prints an article where it basically showing you how they were going to do it, how they were going to try to bring him back. At the end of the day, you've heard my views on this. I've got strong views on this. I believe in second chances. I just don't want to see him playing for Manchester United because I think all of the stuff that's going to bring is going to bring all of this stuff and it's constantly going to be there. We're going to be talking about it. I 100% think that Mason and is the victim. They're going to have to, if they want the will to believe everything is all handy dandy and everything's all fine. I think Mason's got to come out and explain because there's no denial. He said he denies all allegations, but he's not come out and the reports that he gave to the Sun or whatever interview he gave to the Sun months ago was like he just wants to put this behind him, and you're like, you can't have that out, that footage and that audio out there and go, I want to put it behind you like it's never happened, mate. Like, you've got to come out and explain what the hell is going on here and take some accountability. But it's divided a fan base. Some people don't care. They just want to see the football. I understand that. They just want their football club to be successful. Gordon Strachan's the famous, I think, famous quote, him saying, there's no morals in football. And yeah, football has proven that time and time again. Like, players who are talented and who are worth a lot of money to the football club will always be. If let's say if Greenwood had the similar talent to what, like, we let go, like some of the young players that we let go from years ago, like Tyler Blackett, you know what I mean? Someone like him, he would have been done out here. Out here. It's because he is this generational talent in Manchester United's academy. It's been there since. And this idea that they're framing it around is a duty of care. No, they do have a duty of care. But where was the effing care when my guy was doing the madness? Where was it? Alleged madness, before he sues me, by the way. Alleged. But trust me, those things, that evidence, what we heard on I can't unsee and I can't unhear that. And you know, all of that is going to drag up every time if he scores, if he's back in the team. And also, the biggest thing, Manchester United fans, those of you who want him back, do you think he's ever going to be the same as that Mason Greenwood? Do you know that when you miss nearly 2 seasons of football, you know that it takes its toll? You know that you're not going to, it's the climb to get back to the top there is a high one. Yeah. I think instead of putting massive pressure in himself, go somewhere, do that, and build your career up.
Exactly. If I was Man United, this is going to bring up so many issues, like as you said, throughout the team. And already I'm seeing stuff drenching up about Ten Hag and how he dealt with the Mark Overmars stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's gonna bring a lot of people, like other players will be questioning about it. What do you think about this guy coming back? And they don't want to be in that situation. They want to be publicly like seen as sympathizers for someone that's committed some of these acts on women. So it's tough, man. And the way United tried to, when they brought the women's team into it and said that we want to ask them about it. Now what's going to happen is England's got a World Cup final to play. Those Man United female players are going to be asked questions about Mason Greenwood and his return, and when they should be concentrating on that biggest game of their careers, it's going to be an issue. And you've got already people that like may feel awkward about it, that don't really have an opinion about it, but then you're forcing them to have an opinion about it, or you're forcing them to be judged on something they probably didn't do. So how should they celebrate with Greenwood if he scores? Should they go out with him after for meals and stuff? All of these things are going to be in the background, and I'm surprised and shocked that a big team like Man United were willing to go through all of this stuff for one player.
Yeah, 100%. Big up Kate O'Dane now. I can talk proper talk, give that context, bro. Cantona kicked a fascist, bro. That guy was a fascist, and he was making xenophobic remarks to Eric Cantona and Eric Cantona's mum. At the end of the day, Eric Cantona got the ban, but to me, Eric Cantona didn't abuse a woman, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Let's be right. Alleged from the footage, what we hear that's the evidence for all the things that we see. It's the evidence, and they have to explain that footage. They have to come out and explain that footage and all this new evidence kind of BS. Because, I mean, I'm an abolitionist. I don't believe in the justice system anyway. You know what I mean? I don't believe in it. I don't. I think there are so many people in prison who are like innocent, and there's so many people walking around the world who are guilty of horrendous crimes. So I don't trust this man-made laws. I don't trust it, bro. I don't. That's just me. That's my personal opinion. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and it is 100% divided the fan base. And you know what's going to happen when he goes to away grounds? But I genuinely would question if he ever would go back to that levels. So those of you who want him back, you're just in a You're just like Manchester United, the rest of us in the Manchester United. We all living in we're living on a prayer. We're living on a prayer. Whoa, whoa. That's where Bon Jovi out here, man. We are Bon Jovi FC. That's what we are. Bon Jovi FC. We're living on a prayer. You're living on a prayer. That we're living on a prayer as a majority, as a collective. We might go back to challenging for Premier League titles and a Champions League under the Glazers. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. And if it happens, it'll be despite of them, not because of them, like Fergie used to do it. So it's exactly the same thing. You are all, especially with Mason, you're living on a prayer to thinking that he's going to go back to the footballer he was. And he's going to be able to take that abuse, which is going to be rife at every game where he puts on that Manchester United, he crossed that white line to play for Manchester United. So these things are going to happen, people. And like I said, if he wasn't, I've said it before and I'll say it again, if he wasn't this generational so-called talent, would he still be here? He would have been done out here, mate. They would have got rid of him, paid him off, whatever. See you later. At the end of the day, they're saying that this is all on Richard Arnold. So we'll see what happens. But the Athletic article, I'm not going to hear and post it on here because, you know what I mean? I don't believe in that. These people did their investigative journalism. Well, sometimes. They're also cronies for the Glazers and for the football club. You know what I mean? They do that. That. I'm sorry, they do that. You enable it. You don't tell the truth. You don't tell the truth because you want access. Yeah. You know what I mean? I understand that, but tell the truth and F the access, man. Be an investigative journalist. But at the end of the day, it's quite damning because they set this whole up. They were going to announce it. They were going to do some sort of interview. And Richard Arnold, like the fourth, and now the stakeholders. And then they started throwing the women's team under the bus. Like, you had since February to sort this out with all the different stakeholders. And now it's going into even more drama. And that's another thing that's hovering. So we've got the Glazer and the Sale hanging over the football club. Then we have the Mason Greenwood situation hanging over the club. And I think it's going to get even more toxic if he comes back. So for me, second chances and all that, people make mistakes, yes. Like, it's a horrific mistakes to be making, by the way. But do I believe in, like, we have, like, that redemption, that you can be a madman and you can see, like, not to be a mad person and to come out and actually be, you know, like, remorseful and genuinely mean it, like, whatever got you to those places. Do I believe that? Yeah. Do I believe in second chances? Yes, I do. As a human being, I'm not trying to dehumanize him, but not at my football club, man. It's simple. It is simple, straightforward. That's what it is. Bro, have you got anything else to add in terms of your part of what's going on with Liverpool? Who you playing? You're Bournemouth at home on Sunday or Saturday?
Yeah, on Saturday we've got Bournemouth at home. Okay. Hopefully we can get another 9-0 like last year.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. We're just seeing the team in midfield try and gel a little bit more. It's a good game to get that done. Nothing else from me. But I just wanted to say also, with regards to Mason Mount, like I'm seeing someone say here, Mason isn't guilty. If I was still, will be in jail or something like that. But it's not about being guilty. It's all about
being convicted. He's not being convicted, but I don't mean that you're innocent, bro.
Yeah. It's
the
all
case
about
collapse.
Yeah, it's the optics of it. We saw, had we not seen footage of her body and that
injuries,
voice,
the injuries, and the recording,
and the recording, then you may have a chance of, like, you know, brushing all of this under the carpet. But everyone, like, as they say in it, when you're found guilty in the court of, like, you know, public opinion, it's hard to go back from it. It's hard to come back from it. And maybe it would have been wiser for Man United to maybe sell him and put in a buyback clause or something so he can rehabilitate his image somewhere else and then come back. Would have been a lot better idea than try to rehabilitate his image at United when it can cause so much more issues for the club. I don't understand it, as I said. It will cause a lot of issues for me.
And shout out to a lot of the women's groups. They don't even have to be a woman to want to protect women. It should be all of us that want to protect women and girls from any harm. Like I always say, people, the rape allegations are the hardest to prosecute because it's, you know, like, it's on the victim to prove that they were sexually assaulted or raped. And the stats are there. I don't have to tell you about it in this country or globally. And then the abuse is like 3 women are murdered in this country by their partner or ex-partner. That's been right here, people. This is a matter of life and death in terms of how abuse works. And victims have stayed and fell in love with their abusers and stayed with them for years and years. So miss me out with all of this business. Like, you know about it. Go and educate yourself and read. I understand if you just say to me, listen, I'm not in their lives. I'm not personal. I just want him banging goals for Manchester United. I have more respect for you. I'll have more respect for you in that sense. But if you're trying to now be some law expert and try to pull wool over everybody's eyes, mate, and tell people, are you sure that was him? Like in the recording. Like, come on, get out of here, man, with that stuff. Listen, respectfully, we disagree. But that's how it is. It's not about snowflake society. It's not that, Matthias. It's not a snowflake society. It's that people are just like, they don't want violence against women and girls. They don't want that. And the message it's sending is like, if you're good enough, if Manchester United see you as an asset, a financial asset, then you can do whatever you want with whoever, you know what I mean, to whoever you want. That's how it is.
Yeah, there has to be consequence. I think they should like show also like a path for the upcoming United players. Like, you just can't, just because you're at United doesn't mean you can get away with anything. So then that will show them that everyone is held accountable for their actions. And me being, I'm a father to daughters, and like, I always put myself in that shoe. Like, if I was the father or if I was the brother, how would I be feeling in hearing this stuff play out?
Knowing you, bro, my guy won't be walking around thinking about a football career.
Exactly.
You'd be watching Liverpool, but from 4x4. You know what I mean? 4 walls. You'd be watching football, bro. Like, that's what it would be. Like, as crazy as it sounds, a lot of people will never like take that for their, you know what I mean? Like, ever wish that for their daughter. But 100%. These things happen. Like, it happens. This happens more than you expect, people. And at the end of the day, honestly, it is what it is. But it's going to be, listen, I think we've had our say. I think that it split the fan base. I think if Manchester United are willing to, we know the Glazers don't give a damn about opinions about fan base and about fans being split. They don't give a damn about that. It's the bottom line at the end of the day. And the reason, if Mason Greenwood is allowed to come back at Manchester United, it's because of them. It's because of what he's worth. Nothing else but that. That's what it is. But in terms of seeing him, how we go back to, I mean, explain to people, bro, like, if you miss football for a long time, it's very difficult to get back to where you're performing,
100%. This is why, remember when people have long-term injuries, it's not because that injury is still hampering them. It's because the rhythm, the repetition that you're used to has been gone for so long that it takes you a while to get that rhythm back, maybe like a year or so, especially if it's 2 years, almost 2 years out. It might take you such a long time. Plus, that 2 years you've missed on developing even further. So you're still coming from a deficit, in my opinion. And I think, like, tell me which player that's come from a long-term injury that went and was the same player or exceeded expectation. It's very hard to find one.
Very few. I can remember in training, Van Nistelrooy having a horrendous breakdown of having a ACL, and then it took him a year to recover, and then he came and banged goals for Manchester United. That's the only play. I think Shearer had it as well. Ronaldo, R9. I think the second time his knee went. You know what I mean? There's not. Then you're never the same with really bad injuries.
Yeah, because you also miss that competitive side that makes you improve, that improves your skill and your awareness and situational events where you can actually recall, I should do this and do that. It's all of these things are missing from your life. It's going to be hard to get those back. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, 100%. Cantona nearly killed the fan. Calm down, lad. He kicked him. Neo Sikati, you gotta calm down, lad. He kicked the fan. He gave him a little bit of a karate kick to the chest. He didn't kill him. Let's be right here. But he got a second chance. Listen, that you can't compare. Sorry, I genuinely think you've lost the argument. You're literally you know what I mean? Like literally trying to find something that to make it stick. No, you cannot look at Cantona's situation to Mason Greenwood. No chance. To Manchester United, Cantona will always be a hero because he kicked the fascists. That's what you do. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not violence, but that's the one answer to deal with fascists, and that's how Cantona dealt with it. And he had a lot of the fans backing. You know what I mean? When the seagulls followed the trawler, you know, check that speech out, check that poem out. It is what it is, people. But big up to you, bro. Anything else to add? Anything you want to know about Manchester United?
That's it for now. Hopefully next week it'll be on my channel, and then we can discuss this week's events. And
yeah, definitely. Listen, big up, people. So next week we'll be on Nora Beats football analysis. So make sure you go and check that channel out. Make sure you give that subscribe, especially if you're a football fan. You don't just have to be a Liverpool fan. He doesn't have just have Liverpool content on there. He has other analysis of football.
I've got one good Casemiro analysis for you guys. Go check it out.
Exactly. Go and check it out. You see, this is it. So go and check it out. But we'll be live there next Thursday. This is a show we're going to be doing. So please support both channels and support yourselves as a community. And that's it is. Wow. It's been a pleasure, mate. Like that level of racism. That level of racism is what it is. Wow. You've just shown yourself, Devin Baker. And I promise you will not be saying that to me on the beats, like to our faces or to any person. Like in reality, you will not be saying that. But it's been a pleasure, fella. One thing we don't do is we don't take abuse on this channel. Zero tolerance. So you've blown yourself up. You're known now, Devin Baker, to be an absolute racist. I hope you cuddle up to your little Nazi flag and do what you do. You know what I mean? So good luck to you, pal. Good luck to you. Big up, people. This is what we have to deal with, people. This is what we have to deal with. This is what we have to deal with. Yeah. Tomorrow's coming out tomorrow. We're going to be doing a show tomorrow night, specifically looking at timing it so that one will have that breaking news of this embargo section of Ten Hag's second part 2 of this presser. So we'll get tomorrow afternoon. We'll see that the presser, and then next minute we will get the second part of the embargo section of that, and it will be timed next exactly the same. What are you doing on your channel, bro? Let the people know.
Yeah, this MUFC Heath House, I think you should get rid of him as well.
Ah, okay. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, man. Race is coming out the woodwork. You as well, my friend. Let the people know for the record. Man UFC had a house. There you go. Yeah. Go on, cuddle your Nazi flag, pal. Ta-ra. Ta-ra to you. Ta-ra. Listen, big up to everybody, but let them people know when you're live, bro. When you're live next.
Yeah, I'll probably be live on Monday.
Yeah. Do you just do analysis? You don't do any previews and match reactions?
I sometimes it depends on the match. If it was like a really intense match, big games. If I'll probably be doing one on Man United Tottenham, because it's going to be a big game between the top, one of the top 7 teams, and then I'll be also looking at. I'm looking at United carefully this week, so jump on and see my analysis. It probably won't be live; it'll be on after. So subscribe if you can, and then you can see it as a video. And you can follow me on Twitter, and I'll post it there as well.
Yeah. Big up, man. Yeah, it is what it is, man. This is why I say no to racism always. You know what I mean? But some people are some people in it, the way that they are. Because I think, are they being racist because they want Mason Greenwood back? It's just wow. Getting abusive because they don't agree with our opinion. It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Big up to everybody. Love and light to Therapy Army. I hope you enjoy the show. Let us know, please, in the comments what you think about the show. What would you like us to ask each other? We're like, get involved with the show. This is an interactive show. This is for you as well. So let us know in the comments how you would like for us to go at it. Obviously, Liverpool and Man United are not playing each other, but we watch sometimes each other's games. We'll be going at it. We'll be bringing a bit more banter. Tonight was more of an introductory episode, but trust me, it will get heated. Like I said, he'll have his backup. I'll have my backup. We'll bring more people. You know what I mean? We'll bring more people into this. You know what I mean? And sometimes it might be 2 against 2, 3 against 3, and we bring it like WrestleMania. You know what I mean? We're bringing it.
For sure.
So it's all good, man.
That's what
Love and light. Yeah, like I said, all of the details. So it's at Nura Beats on Nura Beats Football Analysis on Twitter and across all social media. And go and check out the YouTube channel. The links down below. So go and check it out and make sure you give the brother a follow. It's all love. Like we said, it's all love. Like I said, nobody's perfect. My brother here, nobody's perfect. But you know what I mean? It just happens to be a Liverpool fan. And like I said, we're only human. We're only human, man. That's how it is.
We all have our vices, right?
Yeah, that's how it is, man. That's how it is. You know what? It is what it is. Will I take Tamori? To play as a right-sided centre-half.
I think he'll thrive there, you know.
Yeah, you know what? I would. He's young. He can get better. Italy, you learn to defend a little bit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Italy, you learn to defend a bit. Yeah, of course, we're always. But yeah, I would take. I do like that Tolibo. Is it Tolibo?
Yeah.
Tolibo, even though he's had failed when he's gone outside of France, he's failed a couple of times. Whether it was in Germany, I think, and whether it was in Portugal, he failed. But I think he was too young, and now that he's been a very, very, you know, very consistent for Nice, and now hopefully maybe he can do a job. I don't really rate Pavard. We can talk about that next time, bro. What you think of Pavard? A lot of people rate him. I just don't see him as aggressive defender, and I want a more aggressive. I like my defenders who play with intensity and aggression.
And he switches off a lot. I was criticizing him during the World Cup, where he fell asleep so many times.
Oh, Mehdi. Oh, sorry, Mehdi Tamori. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant Tamori plays for Mehdi.
Oh, for Porto.
Yeah.
He's all right. I'd say maybe a backup, but that's going down the same route as what's that tall fella that you got last?
Workhorse. Mehdi Tamori. It's the Iranian player. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Iranian. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? He's a good player, but can he hold up the ball? How good is he holding up the ball? And does he look like he's not running on a? Does he look like he's not running on a treadmill like Workhorse was doing? Workhorse was constantly running on a treadmill. Yeah, I think honestly I would take him because I think he's got a bit of skill. He's got a bit of skill, and I watched him. I can't really judge a player on World Cup form, but you can tell there's a bit about him.
Yeah.
Would I take him? For how much we talking? 20 million? Whatever, you know what I mean? As long as we're not getting ripped off, I would take him. I do genuinely think we need another striker. Manchester United need a centre-half, another striker, and me personally, 2 other midfield players.
100%. I agree.
You know what I mean? That's where we're at. But big up to everybody. We've gone for an hour and 30, and this was an introduction. Hopefully next time we'll try to keep it snappy. But this was an introductory show. We now introduce Therapy Army. It's love and light. And like I said, the banter will come. You know what I mean? He's got his backups. You know what I mean? I got my backups. You know what I mean? We'll be ready and reloaded, people. Yeah. We'll be doing it. So it's love and light. And big up to everybody. Watch tonight and turned up. Love and light. Big up to my brother Jarvis. And big up Ari and Rashid and everybody else. Georgie B and everybody else. Yeah, big up. Sorry. We got the 2 Tamaris mixed up. Sorry. I'm dyslexic. That's how I read it. Evan Ferguson, I do rate him, but forget about it. He's going to Real Madrid for 200 million. 200 million. Real red rivals. That's where we go. Big up Stephanie Griffin. Love and light. That was AKA Alicia. Thinking over. Big up people. If you know, you know. But listen, like I said, links down below for the socials and for the YouTube channel. We'll be live there next week, so make sure you tune in. Love and light, people. And we'll be back tomorrow night on the Therapy Army doing a Eric Ten Hag preview. do, we'll be covering the press conference as well, the embargo section. So big up. Hopefully, Jarvis, I hope you're about. We'll get maybe Irfan and some of the boys involved as well. Love and light, people. Peace, love, light, win, lose, draw, Glazers out, Bankers out. Have you got to say somebody out on your side? Is it FSG out?
Yeah, FSG out, man.
You thought about it for a minute. You thought about it for a minute. That's how it is. Big up, love and light, people. There's a reason why we're the biggest rivals, because underlying deep against all of that is fierce competition to be the top dog in British football. And that's where the respect lies, people. So we keep it respectful here. Love and light. Good night to those two idiots as well, who are abusing people. But you know how it is, isn't it? We're black people, man. We're black men out here. You know what I mean? We get abused. That comes with the territory. You know what I mean? It's what it is.
Facts.
It shouldn't have to, but that's the reality, man. That's the reality. But love and light, people. Yeah, Spurs. Can Manchester United turn it around? Can they turn it around, Manchester United? Can they go there and put a performance and they get the win? The 3 points. I need to actually watch, before I do the show, I need to watch the highlights of Spurs versus Brentford. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I didn't see that, so I need to go and watch that and find out what's the
Spurs,
new look.
The second half, they had Brentford proper pinned in. So it's going to be interesting, man. The guys already changed from that stupid Conte style. And you was right. You're the one who didn't want Conte, right?
Are you kidding me? I told everybody. People are like, you don't want to win. You just don't want to win. I'm like, come on now. That guy is 2.0, man. I've already done Jose. You want me to get bloody, you know what I mean? Listen, Jose football made me lose my hair, bro. Genuinely, I'm not going to lie to you. I swear to you, I'm not lying to you. I am not lying when I say that. People think I'm lying when I say that. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I need to go and check it out. I'm going to watch that and do a little bit of scouting and look at what they were doing in pre-season and get a bit more clips and stuff like that. So, yeah. And I promise you, from tomorrow, I'm going to 100% try to learn it phonetically, the manager's name. I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to do that.
It's best way just to listen to it. That's how I do it. I'm dyslexic as well.
Oh, there we go. Dyslexic FC. There we go. There we go. There you go. Big up. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely learn that. But love and light, people. Glazers out always. Bankers out. Big up everybody who protested on Monday night, by the way. And big up to Sol. You know who you are, Sol. Big up to Solito. If you know, you know. Love and light, people. Take care. And big up to all those people, by the way. The A-levels. They don't define who you are. Exam results do not define who you are, people. They do not define who you are. That's it. Pop Teglu. Papa. Yeah, Papa Teglu. Papa Teglu. That's the closest we can do, people. Papa Teglu. Teglu. Papa Teglu. Yeah. Papa Teglu.
Teglu. Yeah. Papa Teglu.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
See when you hear it.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. If Rashford false 9, I'd rather play Sancho there. He can drop in a bit deep, man. Honestly, Rashford did not want to know. Rashford looked shattered from last season. And there's somebody saying Pasta Coglu. There we go. Pasta Coglu. I think that's what it is. Pasta Coglu. Yeah, big up Alien Tunnels. Pasta Coglu. Pasta Coglu. Yeah, big up all my Greek massive. You know what I mean? Yeah. Angie Pasta Coglu. There we go. Bit of a tongue twister. It is. If you're dyslexic, forget about it. You know what I mean? Forget about it. So big up to all of you. Love and light. And we'll see you tomorrow night for the preview. Peace. Take care, people. Love and light. Good night. Smash a like on the video and let us know in the comments how you want this to be. Do you want people going for each other's throats in here? Keep the rivalry alive. One honestly, it's gonna. I think that's where we're gonna go crazy when we
the game
play
is
the
close.
first Liverpool Manchester United game. So it is what it is. But big up. Take care, people.
Peace.